What you're about to hear may be the most controversial idea about battling the heroin epidemic ever presented. It would bring addicts out of the hidden corners of at least one central New York City and provide a safe, clean place to get high. And it would be done under medical care. The bold plan is being presented by the mayor of Ithaca, who says it could save lives and help people get clean. Right now, Ithaca Mayor Svante Myrick is with us to talk about this. Mr. Mayor, thanks for being here on CBS 5 News. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you taking the time.
You've said that this is personal for you because drugs have touched your family. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I was born in the late 80s. My father, like a lot of men, especially black men in inner cities, became an addict. And he cycled through the system we have now, from jail to rehab to jail. Nothing ever worked for him, and our family was thrown into and kept in poverty. We grew up very poor. And, fast forward 20 years, here I'm the mayor, I'm in charge of a new system, and I recognize that we were just doing the same thing over and over again and getting no results. So, I am very motivated to stop drug use. I think drugs can have a terrible impact on a person and have a horrendous impact on a family. So I wanted to come up with a plan that could actually get results.
How will you convince the state health department, anybody else in Albany that needs convincing, and I suppose on a more practical level, the people who live in your city, that having a place like this, a safe injection site, is a good, safe idea?
Yeah. Well, I think first you've just got to look at places where they do it. And here in North America, in Vancouver, they've had 2 million people go through their supervised injection facilities, and not a single overdose death. And not a single death. 2 million people. And I am losing addictions every month here. We're losing young people at an alarming rate. So I think the first thing we've got to do is point to places where it works. The second thing we've got to do is just be honest with ourselves about what we've tried, what has worked, and what hasn't. And the third, I think, is you've got to acknowledge why this freaks people out. It sounds radical because it sounds like we are condoning drug use, like we are somehow saying that using heroin is okay. But that's not at all what we're doing. We are saying that we want people to stop using heroin. We want them to do that before they die. After they die of an overdose, they'll never have a chance to get
too late. I can already imagine a battle in Ithaca over where something like this might go. Have you given any thought to that, or is it too early?
I've given much thought to it, but it's too early to know the answer. Citing something like this is probably the largest problem with it, but we find that to be true of homeless shelters. We find it to be true of power plants. We find it to be true even of our DPW facilities.
There's going to be a not in my backyard factor that's sort of off the charts here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, what gives me hope is that this is a town, Ithaca is a town that is not just progressive, but acts very much on its values, and it's full of people who make room for other folks. And it's full of people, we're home to Ithaca College and Cornell University and TC3, so it's a place where people are familiar with data, they're familiar with reason and logic, and they're used to taking a hypothesis, testing it when it fails, discarding it, and trying a new hypothesis. So I think here of all places, I think this might be why we're the first out of the gate. But I can tell you that having traveled around the country and speaking with mayors around the country, we will not be the only ones seeking new answers, because the federal government is failing us on this problem, the state governments are failing on this problem, and communities are starting to take this into their own hands.
All right, Ithaca Mayor Svante Myrick, keep us posted on where this goes from here. We'll certainly be following what is a bold, I'll say bold idea about the heroin crisis. Thanks for being here, Mr. Mayor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.